Students, you know structure of nephron and vasa recta. Now we explain the counter current mechanism and vasa recta. You know this is the blood tube and this blood tube is parallel to Henle's loop. This is the Henle's loop. Henle's loop. And this part is called as descending limb and this part is called as ascending limb. That means all the structural part you know, afferent arteriole, glomerulus, Bowman capsule, PCT, Henle's loop, descending, ascending, DCT and collecting duct. This part present just in this region, because when efferent arteriole arises their form, then they have to form a network of blood capillary. When they form the network of blood capillary, then this blood capillary is found in this region, and in this region they form the tubular blood capillary and tubular circulation, and this tubular circulation present just upper part of this Henle's loop. But we explain counter current mechanism with respect to vasa recta. So, we separately draw this blood tube. That means this blood tube present in this region, but I separately draw in that region. Okay? That means this blood tube and this Henle's loop is a one another form a structural part, vasa recta. That means you know the blood tube in parallel to the Henle's loop is known as vasa recta. So, this both the structural form create vasa recta, and vasa recta you know blood when enter in this region, then there the form the filtered form, protein is not passes from this region, different type of nutrient material and maximum concentration of urine urea also present in this region, and after that selective reabsorption create in different region. You know in this region only water is permeable and in this region water is impermeable, but iron, sodium chloride and different type of iron is permeable. And the flow of the blood when the downside, then in this region the blood flow is up to down. In this region also the flow of the blood from downside, that down flow of the blood tube, related tube is called as descending limb, and the blood flow is the upside and the blood flow is the upside. So, the related tube is known as ascending limb, and finally blood is enter in DCT and it's also flow in the upside, and in collecting duct the blood from upside to downside. That means this is the direction of the flow, and you know this blood tube the flow just opposite. When the flow of two directional, one is left to right, another is right to left, this type of flow is known as counter current flow. That means if the flow is opposite to each other, then this type of flow is known as counter current flow. In this blood tube, this is the blood tube, and suppose this blood tube present in this region, then they create vasa recta, and in vasa recta the blood flow in this side, in the ascending side is downside, but you know the flow of the ascending limb is upside, that means opposite to each other, so it called counter current. In this region this tube is situated, in this side downward flow, so it called descending limb, but in this region upside flow of the blood, upside flow, so it's also opposite to each other. So, this type of flow is known as counter current flow. Student, many type of questions arises related to this diagram. You know human or mammalian urine is concentrated urine, that means hypertonic form, and different type of chemicals also present in urine, so it is concentrated urine, and the form of the concentrated form of the urine is called as a unit, measurement with the help of a unit, and the urine concentration in human, the unit concentration in human is measurement with the help of milliosmol per liter. It is the concentrated form of the urine. This is a scale, and in this scale, you know, nephron situated in the two region, one is cortex and one is medulla, and this is the cortex region, and this is structure situated in the cortex part, that is the afferent, deferent, Bowman, glomerulus, PCT, DCT, etc. And in this region, this is the medulla part, that is Henle's loop, vasa recta also situated in the Henle's medullary part. And you know, juxtamedullary nephron found the vasa recta, that means suppose this is the juxtamedullary nephron and their concentrated form and milliosmol value. स्टूडेंट्स, आपको ये समझना होगा कि मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू इस मिलीऑस्मोल के वैल्यू के साथ मैच करते हुए इसके मिलीऑस्मोल को किस तरह से और कहां पर कितना देखा जाता है. एट फर्स्ट व्हेन यू ड्रॉ इन दिस 10 milliosmol, that means in this region, that means afferent arteriole, the milliosmol value is 10 milliosmol per liter. In the region of the Bowman capsule, the milliosmol value is 150 milliliter, and in this region the milliosmol value is 200 milliliter. In this region, that is milliosmol value suppose 250, that means 200, 21, 22, 210, 220, after that 250. I write down 250, after that its value increases and 300, and this value of the 300 in PCT region. आपको ध्यान देना है कि PCT रीजन में मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू 200, 250 से 300, दैट मीन्स मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू बढ़ता है. दैट मीन्स in the region of PCT, the value of milliosmol is 200 to 300 milliosmol per liter, and its value is increase. ये वैल्यू बढ़ रहा है. कैसे सर? इसका कंपैरिजन करें DCT के साथ. वही DCT है और आपको इस स्केल के साथ मिलाना है. ये स्केल है कॉर्टेक्स रीजन में, और जो कॉर्टेक्स रीजन होता है उसमें मिलीऑस्मोल का जो मैक्सिमम मान है वो मिलीऑस्मोल कंसंट्रेटेड फॉर्म का मैक्सिमम मान हो सकता है 300 मिलीऑस्मोल पर लीटर इस रीजन पे, और इस रीजन पे मेडुला रीजन पे इसका मैक्सिमम जो वैल्यू है वो हो सकता है 1200 मिलीऑस्मोल पर लीटर के रूप में, और इसका मिनिमम वैल्यू होता है 400 के आसपास. और इस तरह से इसका वैल्यू को दिखाया गया है. अब देखो कि कॉर्टेक्स के पार्ट में जो PCT रीजन है उस PCT रीजन में इसका फ्लो ऊपर से नीचे हो रहा है, तो इसमें मिलीऑस्मोल का मान 200 से बढ़कर के 300 हो गया. लेकिन DCT में तो ब्लड का फ्लो नीचे से ऊपर हो रहा है, डाउनवर्ड टू अपवर्ड, एंड इन दैट टाइम डाउनवर्ड टू अपवर्ड फ्लो, सो 300 मिलीऑस्मोल यहां पर है. 300 से घट करके 200 मिलीऑस्मोल हुआ, 200 से 250 हुआ, 250 से घट करके 200 हुआ. दैट मीन्स DCT के रीजन में मिलीऑस्मोल का मान 300 से स्टार्ट होकर के कम हो रहा है, 200 तक जा रहा है, और ये इसका वैल्यू को कम करके शो कर रहा है. इस तरह के क्वेश्चन आएंगे कि मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू, फिर से समझें, इस स्केल के साथ मिलाते हुए मिलीऑस्मोल के मान को शो करना है. PCT के रीजन में मिलीऑस्मोल का मान बढ़ रहा है 200, 250, 300, जबकि DCT के क्षेत्र में मिलीऑस्मोल का मान घट रहा है. ये 300 था क्योंकि इंटर किया लिक्विड यहाँ पर, फिर जब इन लिक्विड आगे बढ़ा तो इसका वैल्यू घट करके 250 हो गया. जब ये लिक्विड आगे और बढ़ा तो इसका वैल्यू घट करके 200 हो गया. मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू यहाँ पर कम हो रहा है. अब हम बात करते हैं इसी के अकॉर्डिंग मेडुला में 400 है, तो ये वैल्यू यहाँ पर 400. अब 400 के बाद यहाँ लिखा है मैंने 600, ये 400, 500, 600 सारे हैं, लेकिन इसमें सीक्वेंस बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा, इसलिए कुछ पॉइंटों को इसमें डैश डैश लेके छोड़ा गया है. 600, 700, 800, क्योंकि यहाँ 800 है, फिर 1000 के बाद 1200, तो यहाँ तक आते आते 1200. अब जरा गौर करें इसमें लिक्विड फ्लो किधर जा रहा है? दैट लिक्विड फ्लो इन डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब अप साइड टू डाउन साइड, तो वैल्यू 400 टू 1200 तक जा रहा है, यानी डी सी डिसेंडिंग लिम्ब में जो मिली ऑस्मोल है उसका वैल्यू 400 से 1200 तक जा रहा है और ये कंसंट्रेशन बढ़ रहा है, इंक्रीज कर रहा है। लेकिन अगर मैं इसके रेस्पेक्ट में वैसा रेक्टा की बात करूं, क्योंकि इसके साथ एक वैसा रेक्टा भी है, ये वैसा रेक्टा, अब जरा वैसा रेक्टा को गौर करें, ये जो साइड वाला वैसा रेक्टा है वो इसके पास है और इधर वैल्यू इस प्रकार से ऊपर नीचे से ऊपर जा रहा है। तो पहले होगा 1200 इसमें, फिर 1000, फिर 800, फिर 600, फिर 400। स्टूडेंट्स, केवल इस ग्राफ के साथ जहां जहां जो वैल्यू है वो लिखना है और इसमें वैल्यू इसके फ्लो के ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा, इसका फ्लो का डायरेक्शन किस साइड में है, और दिस डायरेक्शन इज डाउनवर्ड टू अप साइड। अब इसमें वैल्यू 1200 से स्टार्ट हुआ था वैसा रेक्टा में, जो ब्लड ट्यूब है इस साइड में, इसके डिसेंडिंग साइड में जो ब्लड ट्यूब है, उस ब्लड ट्यूब में 1200 से स्टार्ट हुआ मिली ऑस्मोल वैल्यू और ये 400 मिली ऑस्मोल तक गया, यानी वैल्यू क्या हो गया? कम हो गया इसमें। ओके, अब हम बात करते हैं कि सर एसेंडिंग लिम्ब में क्या हो रहा है। तो एसेंडिंग लिम्ब में इसके रेस्पेक्ट में ही बात करेंगे। एसेंडिंग लिम्ब में फ्लो डाउनवर्ड टू अपवर्ड हो रहा है, तो 1200 मिलीलीटर, तो स्केल वही है, 1200 ये शो करेगा, फिर 1000, फिर 800, फिर 600, फिर 400। मैंने कोई भी वैल्यू को चेंज नहीं किया, सीक्वेंस जैसा था वैसा रखा, लेकिन इसमें डायरेक्शन ऑफ द ब्लड फ्लो डाउनवर्ड टू अपवर्ड, सो इन दैट रीजन द फ्लो इज डाउनवर्ड टू अपवर्ड। वैल्यू क्या हो गया? कम हो गया, 1200 से घटकर 400 हो गया। और इसके रेस्पेक्ट में जो ब्लड ट्यूब है उसमें देखो, उसमें ये नीचे जा रहा है ब्लड का फ्लो, तो 400, फिर 600, फिर 800, फिर 1000 और फिर 1200, यानी इसमें वैल्यू बढ़ रहा है। तो इसके रेस्पेक्ट में अगर बात करता हूं एसेंडिंग लिम्ब, तो एसेंडिंग जो लिम्ब है, इस लिम्ब में ब्लड का फ्लो डाउनवर्ड से अपवर्ड जा रहा है और एसेंडिंग लिम्ब में मिली ऑस्मोल का वैल्यू 1200, यहाँ क्योंकि लिक्विड पहले यहाँ स्टार्ट हुआ था, तो 1200 से स्टार्ट होते होते 400 तक चला गया, यानी मिली ऑस्मोल का वैल्यू इसमें कम हो रहा है। और इसके रेस्पेक्ट में जो वैसा रेक्टा है, जो वैसा रेक्टा का ब्लड ट्यूब है, जो वैसा रेक्टा का ब्लड ट्यूब है, क्योंकि काउंटर करंट शो करेगा, तो इसके रेस्पेक्ट में ब्लड ट्यूब ये है और इसमें फ्लो अप साइड से डाउन साइड जा रहा है, तो 400 से 1200 की ओर जा रहा है, तो इसमें ब्लड ट्यूब में फ्लो जा रहा है 400 से 1200 मिली ऑस्मोल की तरफ, यानी बढ़ रहा है। एक दूसरे के इस बढ़ते हुए क्रम में एक डायरेक्शन ऑपोजिट, इसमें भी देखो ये डायरेक्शन ऑपोजिट ऊपर तो ये नीचे, इस ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन के फॉर्म में ही इसे काउंटर करंट कहते हैं और ये एक दूसरे के साथ एक पैरेलल फॉर्म ब्लड ट्यूब और हैंडलेस लूप वैसा रेक्टा को भी शो करता है और ये मिली ऑस्मोल के वैल्यू को बताया जा रहा है कितना होता है। इसमें से कहीं भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, तो दोबारा बता रहे हैं, इसको समझ लें कि बच्चों जब ब्लड इसमें एंटर करता है तो हमारा जो ब्लड होता है वो ब्लड के फॉर्म में फिल्टर नहीं होता है, ब्लड में पाए जाने वाले लिक्विड फॉर्म में फिल्टर होता है। आफ्टर दैट दे हैव टू फॉर्म different type of ionic concentration in urine and different useful chemical re-enter in our body with the help of selective reabsorption, and urine is a form of concentrated or hypertonic form. Urine is generally concentration is indicated with the help of milliosmol per liter, and this is a simple graph. And in this graph we divided two regions, cortex and medulla. The cortex region, the milliosmol per liter value is maximum 300 and medulla maximum 1200. In the medulla region start 400. Now in this parallel to graph and parallel to the diagram, when we match, then we found the value of milliosmol per liter increase in the region of PCT because flow upside to down, and in its opposite in the DCT flow down to up, so value decrease. This value in this region of the descending limb increase, ascending limb decrease, and it's related to blood tube. Here if increase then it decrease, here if decrease then it increase, and this type of osmol value is near about fixed. That means in human body the osmol value is near about 1200 milliosmol per liter. अब देखो अगर हम पर डे 5 लीटर से 7 लीटर वाटर इनहेल कर रहे हैं तो हमारे बॉडी में जो भी ऑस्मोल वैल्यू है वो नॉर्मल होगा एंड हमारा बॉडी का फिजियोलॉजिकल वर्क भी नॉर्मल होगा। लेकिन वाटर हम कम पी रहे हैं तो हमारे बॉडी के तुरंत तो इसके इफेक्ट आपको दिखाई नहीं देंगे, बट लॉन्ग टर्म में इस पे इफेक्ट होते हैं। हमें पर डे नींद से उठने के बाद सुबह अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग खाली पेट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पानी पीना चाहिए, फिर जब हम खाना खा लें उसके 10-15 मिनट बाद पानी पीना चाहिए। ये वाटर अगर हमारे बॉडी को मिल रहा है तो किडनी में नॉर्मल फिल्ट्रेशन होगा और किडनी नॉर्मल फिल्ट्रेशन में इस ऑस्मोल वैल्यू को बनाए रखेगा और नेफ्रॉन लॉन्ग लास्टिंग होगा। लेकिन आज के भाग दौड़ भरी ज़िंदगी में हमें प्यास लगने पे भी ज़्यादातर लोग उसे सोचते हैं बाद में पिएंगे और बहुत ज़्यादा लॉन्ग टर्म में कई वर्षों तक ऐसा हम रोज़ करते हैं। ये बुरी आदत के बाद किडनी डैमेज होने लगता है, तो हो सकता है कि किडनी ड्राई हो जाए या किडनी फेल हो जाए। उस कंडीशन में मिलीऑस्मोल का जो ये वैल्यू है ये वैल्यू चेंज हो जाता है, ये कम भी हो सकता है ज़्यादा भी हो सकता है। हो सकता है कि अगर किडनी ड्राई हो गया तो मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू यहाँ कट जाए, 700-800 तक ही रह जाए मैक्सिमम वैल्यू, और अगर ये स्वेल हो जाए, फूल जाता है, किसी कारण से स्वेलिंग हो जाती है, तो हो सकता है मिलीऑस्मोल का वैल्यू 1200 से बढ़कर 1300-1400 तक पहुँच जाए। दैट इज़ ए सिचुएशनल ग्रोथ। इन जनरल in our body maintain our osmol value, and osmol value near about fix, and this osmol value is very easy to remember with the help of this diagram and this process, and you understand the process of the osmol value and vasa recta and counter current mechanism. Okay student, now we explain glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration means a specified pressure effective filtration in different region in the nephron parts. When blood enter in this part and that blood strike in that region, you know this region is known as glomerulus, and many small pore also present in glomerulus, and in this region liquid part and liquid concentration of the urine selectively permeable. Protein is impermeable in this region, but different type of ionic concentration of organic, inorganic chemicals and urine in the form of urea passes from this region, and when they passes from this region, in that time in this region create a pressure, and pressure is maximum in glomerulus region. That is called hydrostatic pressure, because liquid part in the urine concentration, water is maximum in that region, so it called hydrostatic pressure, and in its region is known as glomerular. So in part is known as glomerular hydrostatic pressure. It write down GHP, glomerular hydrostatic pressure, glomerular hydrostatic pressure. And in general human body, in the part of the glomerulus, the pressure is the highest pressure, and the pressure is 60 mmHg in the average patient, and the maximum 70 also, but you write down 60 mmHg in general the average pressure create in the region of the glomerulus. After that blood passes, some blood passes in efferent arteriole, and with the help of this pressure, when blood passes from their pores, the blood strike in the region of Bowman capsule, and when blood strike in Bowman capsule, then Bowman capsule oppositely strike the blood. So, blood and Bowman capsules have create a specified pressure. So, in that region blood and capsular pressure create, so it called colloidal osmotic pressure, that means blood related colloidal part, or you write down BCOP in the full form is blood colloidal osmotic pressure, and in human the blood colloidal osmotic pressure is 30 mmHg mercury. And finally capsule also create the pressure in blood, so it called as capsular hydrostatic pressure, CHP, capsular hydrostatic pressure. And capsular hydrostatic pressure in generally 10 mmHg, and maximum pressure in that region is 18 mmHg. That means according to water concentration, it is the hydrostatic pressure. This pressure have to fluctuate, but in minimum in general 10 mmHg pressure always present, and this type of pressure is create a specified filtration process, that is called selective process of the filtration, and after that liquid part enter in that region and they passes from the PCT. This region, the gateway of effective pressure, and effective pressure is known as EFP, its full form is effective filtration pressure, and this effective filtration pressure is count out with the help of formula. Effective filtration pressure is equal to GHP, global hydrostatic pressure, minus BCOP or COP plus CHP. Suppose we put the value of CHP is 10, then what is the effective filtration pressure? You know students, the global hydrostatic pressure is 60 mmHg, COP value is 30 mmHg, CHP value suppose 10 mmHg, then 60 minus 40 is equal to 20 mm mercury value in the form of effective filtration pressure. If the effective filtration pressure value is 20, that means it is very beneficial and filter process is possible. Effective filtration pressure value is in general human being need 10 to 25 mmHg. If the pressure in between 10 to 25 mmHg, then it called as good effective pressure, and it create the glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration, and after that urine concentration formed, and this filtration pressure is effective in human body, and kidney is capable to filtration of urine. You know, ornithine cycle means urea formation cycle. Urea formation the cycle is known as ornithine cycle. It is because it is a cyclic process, so it called ornithine cycle. This cycle was given by two scientists, one name is Krebs and one name is Henseleit in 1932. That means both the scientists provide the experimental form of ornithine cycle in 1932. So, ornithine cycle also known as Henseleit-Krebs cycle, Henseleit-Krebs cycle, because the owner of scientist, the name is Henseleit-Krebs cycle. Student, you know urea filtration organ is kidney. I write down kidney is urea filtration organ, urea filtration organ. But ornithine cycle, that is Henselt-Krebs cycle, complete in liver. So this cycle is called urea formation cycle. So liver is called as urea forming organ. That means urea formation inside liver. Liver is known as biochemical lab in our body. Different type of digestive function related to liver, but liver also participate in urea formation. So urea forming organ is liver, and completely urea form inside liver, and after that this urea when enter inside kidney, then kidney also participate in filtration form. So kidney is known as filtration form, and liver is mainly the urea forming organ. That means urea formation center, the urea forming organ is liver. So liver is the completing part of ornithine cycle. That means ornithine cycle is complete inside liver. Okay. And what is the process to urea formation? Urea formation reaction is 2NH3 plus CO2. That means 2 molecule of ammonia and CO2 form the urea. It's write down NH2 ketonic group, C double bond O, NH2, and it's called the urea. That means when 2 molecule of ammonia participate in the presence of CO2 and different type of enzymes are participate, then form the urea, and it's called as urea formation, and it's also known as ornithine cycle. This cycle is a cyclic process and very vast, and we explain one by one this cycle. At first, this cycle is complete in 5 steps. One by one all steps we explain, but explain at first with the explanation part of the ornithine cycle. Students, at first when 1 molecule of ammonia react with CO2, then they form carbamyl phosphate. Carbamyl phosphate. That means 1 molecule of ammonia and CO2 form carbamyl phosphate, and this reaction is complete with the help of enzyme, and that enzyme is carbamyl phosphate synthetase. Carbamyl phosphate synthetase. And this reaction is completed in the time 2 ATP molecule are utilized. So 2 ATP molecule are utilized and convert into ADP to ADP. That means in the first step of the reaction, 1 molecule of ammonia react with CO2, then form carbamyl phosphate. In that time 2 ATP molecule are utilized. Now student, the first step when complete, then second step is ornithine. Ornithine. This ornithine present in the mitochondria of the liver cell in the process of the cyclic process in ornithine cycle, and ornithine previous part of this reaction form. In general, ornithine present in mitochondria, and this ornithine and this carbamyl phosphate combinedly form the citrulline. Combinedly form the citrulline, and this citrulline form in the presence of ornithine, in the presence of ornithine, carbamyl transferase. This is enzyme. That means in the second step of these reactions, when ornithine, that is present in mitochondrial part in liver. This ornithine when combined with carbamoyl phosphate, then it forms the citrulline, and this reaction is complete with the help of ornithine carbamoyl transferase. Now the third step, citrulline form arginosuccinic acid. Arginosuccinic acid. In that time also one molecule of ATP are utilized and it convert into their simple form adenosine monophosphate. You know, one molecule of ammonia participate in that region, and this reaction complete with the help of two molecule of ammonia. So second molecule of ammonia participate here in the form of aspartic acid, in the form of aspartic acid, that is the ammonia. That means ammonia, in the second molecule of ammonia participate in the reactions of in between citrulline and arginosuccinic acid, and citrulline when react with aspartic acid then used ATP and convert into arginosuccinic acid, and in that time this reactions complete with the help of some enzyme. The name of enzyme is arginosuccinic synthetase. Arginosuccinic synthetase, that means citrulline convert into arginosuccinic acid in the presence of aspartic acid. That means citrulline react with aspartic acid and utilize one molecule of ammonia, sorry, one molecule of ATP, and that arginosuccinic synthetase utilize and complete the reaction and form arginosuccinic acid, and this is the third step of the reaction. Now arginosuccinic acid form arginine, and in that time one molecule of the fumaric acid have to remove out. Fumaric acid have to remove out from this reaction, and this fumaric acid also enter and they participate in the reaction part of aspartic acid. That is, fumaric acid have to separate in that region, and this fumaric acid participate in liver, and they also help to aspartic acid combination. That means fumaric acid also help to aspartic acid combination form, and in that time they separate from this region and convert the arginine. Arginine form in the presence of a specific enzyme. The name of the enzyme is arginosuccinase enzyme, and they convert the arginine. That means in the fourth step of the reaction, when arginosuccinic acid react, arginosuccinic acid generally release out fumaric acid, and in that time arginosuccinase enzyme participate and they convert into arginine. And final step, arginine react with water molecule. When arginine react with water molecule, then they convert into two structural form. One is from the ornithine and second is from the urea, and this urea is the product of ornithine cycle, and this ornithine participate next step of the reaction. So ornithine always present in liver and the mitochondrial cell of the liver, and they regularly participate, and in that reaction complete with the help of arginase enzyme complete this reaction, and it is the fifth step of the reaction. That means this is a cyclic process, and this reaction step by step and finally convert the one molecule of urea. That means when two molecule of ammonia, one molecule of the simple form and another molecule is aspartic acid form, two molecule of ammonia combined with CO2 molecule then form the urea. In the time 2 ATP and 1 ATP. 3 ATP molecule are utilized, CO2 molecule are used, many enzyme are participate in many places, but in particular region, and fumaric acid have to remove out from this reaction, and they also participate to aspartic acid activation to joining in that region, and different molecular part also form step by step. At first form ornithine, citrulline, arginosuccinic acid, arginine. In the NEET exam, some questions are arise like that. Arginine, when combined with H2O molecule, then they form which product? They form the two product. One is urea, another is ornithine. Urea is separate out and reach to the kidney for filtration, and ornithine also participate in ornithine cycle, and arginase enzyme participate in this reaction. So this type of questions arises from their part. I explain what is the reaction process. Now we explain the structural reaction part in ornithine cycle. At first, form carbamyl phosphate. You write down one molecule of ammonia Y react with CO2, then form carbamyl phosphate. Carbamyl phosphate. In the time, 2 ATP molecule are utilized. 2 ATP molecule are utilized and it converted to 2 ADP, and the enzyme is carbamyl phosphate synthetase. First complete. That means in the first step of the reaction, when one molecule of ammonia react with CO2 in the presence of carbamyl phosphate synthetase, then they form carbamyl phosphate, and in this reaction 2 ATP molecule are utilized. Complete first reaction. Second form the citrulline formation. Students, you know, when ornithine and carbamyl phosphate are combined, then form the citrulline, and in this reaction complete with the help of ornithine carbamyl transferase enzyme. That means when ornithine combined with carbamyl phosphate, then form citrulline. This reaction completed by which enzyme? Ornithine carbamyl transferase. Ornithine carbamyl transferase enzyme. That means in the presence of ornithine carbamyl transferase, when ornithine and carbamyl phosphate have to combine, then form the citrulline. Second step is complete. Now third step form the arginosuccinic acid formation. Arginosuccinic acid formation. Students, you know, when citrulline combined with one molecule of aspartic acid in the form of ammonia and use one molecule of ATP, then form arginosuccinic acid, and this reaction complete with the help of arginosuccinic synthetase. That means when citrulline combine with other molecule of ammonia, or you write down second molecule of ammonia in the form of aspartic acid in that time utilize 1 ATP, and the reaction is complete with the help of arginosuccinic synthetase and form arginosuccinic acid. It is very simple. You also write down. That means when citrulline combined with aspartic acid is the second molecule of ammonia and utilize 1 molecule of ATP in the presence of arginosuccinic synthetase form the arginosuccinic acid. Third step complete. Now we write down the fourth step, that form the arginine formation. You know, when arginosuccinic acid react in the presence of arginosuccinase enzyme, this enzyme arginosuccinase enzyme, then remove fumaric acid, and finally form arginine. That means in this reaction, when arginosuccinic acid react in the presence of arginosuccinase, then it convert into arginine and fumaric acid have to remove out, and the final step of the reaction, that the fifth point, form urea. But it not really form the urea, it form the urea and ornithine also. That means when arginine react with H2O, then it convert into urea and ornithine, two part. In this reactions complete with the help of arginase enzyme. Urea is form the excretory product or excretive nitrogenous product, and ornithine also re-enter also, you say that, in ornithine cycle. That means, my dear students, you know, it is most important, and this reactions step by step is completed in 5 steps. That means when ammonia react with CO2, then form the carbonyl phosphate, 2 molecule of ATP are utilized and converted to 2 ADP, and carbonyl phosphate synthetase complete this reaction. And the second reaction, when ornithine combined with carbonyl phosphate, then they convert into citrulline, and this reaction complete with the help of ornithine carbonyl transferase, and its second step also complete. And the third step, when citrulline combined with aspartic acid in the presence of arginosuccinic synthetase, 1 molecule of ATP utilized and form arginosuccinic acid. And the fourth step, arginosuccinic acid in the presence of arginosuccinase, fumaric acid have to remove out and form arginine. And the fifth step of the reaction, arginine when combined with water molecule, then they convert into urea and ornithine, and this reaction is complete with the help of arginase, and finally urea is formed, and ornithine also re-enter in this reaction, and regularly in the live process urea also continuously form, and 30 to 35 gram urea per day excrete out from our body. That means a adult human being near about 30 to 35 gram urea excrete out every day from their urine. So this is called as ornithine cycle or Henselt-Krebs cycle, and this cycle is complete in liver. So liver is known as urea formation organ or urea formation center.